When did you get to Florida?
We got here Sunday morning.
So it's been a couple days.
We caught a red-eye flight from Phoenix at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And arrived here at 6 and had a long day with no sleep.
Is Chad already there or no?
He just got here yesterday. Yeah.
And Ramy flew with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I got you on because you're Ramy's representative.
Ramy's representative.
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask you a few questions about Ramy and how his training is going. And you obviously have the inside scoop about everything. So I wanted to kind of see if I could pick your brain a little bit.
You know, I'm not a big talker, right?
Wow. Yeah, yes, you are. You have a talk show, for fuck's sakes.
I'm not a big talker. I don't want to jinx stuff. That's what I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm down 12 pounds now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Looks good though.
So for people watching who don't know, Dennis is coaching me now. For a photo shoot. But yeah, so we're dropping some weight. So things are coming down pretty good.
That's good. It's about time.
Getting smaller.
You've been big long enough. I've been big long enough, man.
I'm getting smaller by the day. I'm the opposite.
Look at me, man. Yeah. I feel shit. I buy an extra large stuff. I feel good about it.
You're looking lean and trim.
I'm saying, you got to make it happen.
Yeah, that's right.
one way or the other.
Yeah, man. So listen, how's Ramy doing? Are you going to tell me some secrets? Is Ramy good?
There's no secret, basically. The goal from last year was just do the same thing, just come in a little better.
So I want to ask you a couple pointed questions. Has his back come up in any way? Did you guys focus on his back all year, or because the only knock anybody gave him last year was his low lats could have been a little thicker, et cetera, et cetera.
But when you look at the back, when you really assess a back, and then you see, there's people like him. It's like, for example, Akeem.
Yeah.
He has the same lower back.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to cement some body parts on there, some hip parts,
Well, there is a difference though, because where are Ramy's insertions, right, in his back? Like, does his back insert high like Akeem's, or is
pretty much, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to bring that up real quick. Take a look at it together. So that's the back double and the back lat spread from last year. And so
I see it's too small on my phone.
You can't. Let me see if I can blow it up a bit.
It's too small on my phone, but I remember what they look like.
Yeah. So this is for people watching, this is what I'm looking at. So I just want to know where it inserts. You can't change the insertion, but is it any thicker this year? Like, did they bring up anything in the off season? Can people expect that maybe?
That's something we'll have to see on Friday, man. Really. I don't want to leave you hanging, but that's really something that I have to see on Friday.
All right. Let me ask you this. Have you pushed him as hard as you pushed him last year?
I pushed him harder than last year.
Really?
But keep in mind, he was only with me for 5.5 weeks.
How long was he with you last year?
3 weeks.
Oh, so you had him longer this time?
Yeah, this time I had him longer. Yeah.
And you pushed him harder?
I pushed him harder.
Is he better than last year?
Yes.
I
think so.
Really? You got a smile on your face here. Are you excited for everybody to see or what?
I am excited. I'm excited because I was already excited 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was excited 3 weeks ago because and I said, I was the first one to say it last year, that, the scary thing about Ramy is there's still room for improvement.
Yeah.
And there still is room for improvement. This is not, to keep in mind, this guy's been working out for 11 years now.
Yeah.
So, the muscle maturity that you see on some others that you don't see on him, it's because he hasn't been training this long. It's just been, like I said, 11 years.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, what he achieved in the 11 years of being a bodybuilder, you know, he did what, 7 Olympias, 6 Olympias, is Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and he still is, you know, the biggest guy on stage. So
how old is Ramy?
30, he just turned 37.
Why do you think that's, you know, that's true, right? 11, if I think of 11 years, I started bodybuilding when I was 20. When I was 31, I had done the Arnolds a couple of times, but I had nowhere near the accolades that he has. He's done the Olympia a number of times in 11 years. So why is it that people give him such a hard time?
We talked about this before, and I'll tell you why. It's because people expect so much from him.
Yeah.
And when it's not what they expected, they're disappointed. Because, you know, he turned pro in 2012. He did the United Champions, the New York Pro in 2013.
Yeah.
He did the Olympia in 2013. You know, he did the Olympia since then, every year, but 1 year he skipped, 2019.
And he's always been in the top 5, if I'm correct.
No, the first year he was 8th.
Okay.
The second, he always got better.
Yeah.
He was not. There's not 1 year. 1 year he moved back from 2nd to
3rd. I think was our 4th.
No, I think he moved to 5th. Or I don't remember exactly what he moved back.
Yeah,
there was one time. But listen, you know, being in the gym for this long, you know, what he achieved, and he's already missed Olympia. Well, nobody will ever take that away from him.
Yeah.
But you can see the motivation is different. Now he knows. He achieved what he wanted to achieve, basically, and you know, and he wasn't sure last year. You know, you think this is enough? He asked me 10 times, do you believe I can win? I said, I absolutely believe it. I believed it since I fucking met you.
Yeah.
And I just said, all you gotta do is just put it together. And if he puts it together, he's so dangerous, man. So I see him every day, you know, and that's the difference. I saw everybody.
Yeah.
And I see him every day. And you know, when you see someone every day, it's almost like you look at yourself every day.
Yeah.
And every day I see something I like.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, just a couple of days ago, before we came here, I post him every morning after cardio. It was the first time we post. And I look at him and I couldn't stop smiling. He said, why are you smiling? I said, I wish I would have looked like you right now in my time. Yeah. I was like, fuck, that would have been some shit up there. I swear to God. I said I would have just looked like you right now in my time.
Yeah. He is kind of a throwback if you think of timelines, because he's a bigger guy. Like, he stands out amongst the group right now because he's the biggest guy there. Like, out of all the guys, he's the biggest guy. But I wonder what he would look like 2000 to 2006, standing up there with Jay and Ronnie, yourself.
Hey, I can send you pictures with him standing next to Jay in 2013.
Yeah.
He made Jay look really small.
Yeah.
No shit. I'm gonna send you the pictures. You can insert them if you want. You can edit. I mean,
no,
2013 where he got 8th because he had to pay his dues.
Yeah.
So no, I mean he's just big, bro. He's big, you know, and he's still up there in weight.
So what does he? Does he think about anything, or is he in cruise control? Like, is he thinking about Hottie? Is he thinking about Nick? Is he thinking about any you know, Brandon?
No, we'll keep that away from him. We'll just basically tell him you got to beat yourself this year. You got to beat yourself from last year.
So he's all positive all the time. You just got him like laser focused.
That's the only way this works.
Yeah.
That's the only way this works. And you know, and that's why, and I don't want to knock on these guys before, but they did the exact opposite.
What do you mean?
His head was never right.
Oh, you mean in previous years that he was always looking at all the other people and
no, not only that, but the way they talked to him, I guess his head was never in the right place.
Okay. Well, can you explain that a little bit? Like, what are you saying?
Because I don't want to talk about these people. I don't want to give them any.
Well, don't worry. Let's not worry about them. What are you saying to him to keep him in a positive mindset, I guess?
I don't give him. I'll just keep it positive. You know what I'm saying?
You cut out for a second there. You say you don't give him what?
I said I don't give him any chance to think about anything negative. There's nothing negative to talk about. We just don't bring negative stuff up.
Yeah.
We move that all out the way and now focus, you know, this tunnel vision.
Is there anybody you were at the Arnold's last week? How was that, by the way? You got to commentate with Arnold and Cedric.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just strange a little bit because the way we saw it on the screen that we had wasn't really great.
Yeah.
So when I saw what the people saw at home, it was much better. So can you imagine? And they complained.
That's right. That's right.
So for us, it was terrible. It was so dark. The screen was dark. We couldn't see anybody. Terrence or Akeem.
I saw guys.
Trunks. I saw Trunks moving. Because they're so black, and then the back where the backdrop was black. I couldn't really. In our screen, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I could not see the condition. They were all in the same condition for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very hard to judge, you know. And
I think people don't realize that you're looking at. Well, some people may, but I think some people don't realize that you're looking at a monitor. I think some people think. I think some people think you're seeing the stage, and that's how you're commentating. They don't realize you're looking at a little 10-inch screen.
Yeah. I mean, it was just. And I mentioned it throughout the whole day. I said, this is not really good to judge people off, you know. So we'll just did what we can, you know. There was I couldn't really judge who was really in good condition or not. And then later on, when I saw some of the clips on the internet, he said, okay, so these guys didn't really look that bad because they all looked like they were off.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were.
You could see that Nick stood out.
Yeah.
I saw that, but you couldn't really see how good of a condition the other guys were. It was just, I mean, I thought it was the lighting first, and then I realized it was the monitor.
To you, how much more did Nick stand out than the rest of the group?
Nick stood out to me for more than one reason. Number one, he stood out for his condition.
Mm-hmm.
He stood out the color.
Yeah.
The presentation.
Yeah.
And the posing. So he did exactly what I preach.
Yeah.
It almost looked to me like he looked at Ramy last year at the Olympia and he figured that's the way to go.
Yeah.
He was in the poses. He was holding the poses. There was no shaking. There was no face going on. There was just solid, you know. He had to feel good too, knowing that, you know, he was basically one of the front runners from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
You know, because when Bonac was announced not being there, you know, he had to feel good about that, you know, even though he wanted to compete against Bonac. And, you know, but I tell you this, you know, on the screen, and with the way the judges put them together and had the final call out with just him and Steve, and made it look like it's close.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
But it wasn't.
What do you think? How do you think Bonac would have done had he been there?
That's hard to say because we didn't see him next to it.
Yeah.
You know, I literally said, I think Nick is in a perfect spot right now because he has about the same height. He's probably a little bit heavier than Bonac. Mm-hmm. You know, Bonac got probably the maturity on his side because he's been doing this for way longer. Yeah. But Nick's going to bring the hype.
Yeah. That's
so
true,
it's going to be crazy to see Nick on stage, because everybody's saying now, but he said he hasn't been next to some of the top guys. Hey, it's not his fault that they're not coming.
Yeah.
It ain't his fault they didn't show up.
I'm excited to see him next to those top guys. I said after seeing him at the Arnold's, I think, we've talked about different tiers, right? People say there's a first top tier bodybuilders, second tier bodybuilders, third tier bodybuilders. And I remember Ian talking about the elite tier, like the top of the top. I think Nick has entered that category. Like when you talk to the top of the top, you're talking about Ramy, Hadi, Brandon, William. Like, to me, those are the top of the top. And I feel like Nick has entered that category. Now, you've seen him at the Arnold. I haven't seen him in person yet. Do you think that's...
But I don't want to talk like this because of a screen. I believe, here's what I believe. Yeah. I believe Nick is definitely going to be in the top 5.
Okay.
Now, what's going to happen? I don't know. What can happen, I believe he can go, listen, and I said this before, if these guys are off, he's going to slide up all the way in. I don't care. Whoever's off is going to get beat. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just as simple as that. He's on a train right now that's going full force. The smoke's coming off and everything. So if you're not on your A game, you're gonna get run over. It's just as simple as that. And I'm not saying this just to kiss his ass, because I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying this because I see a young guy okay, coming in, bringing some fresh air.
Yeah.
You know, Nick is the perfect guy.
He checks all the boxes.
All of them. He has the look. He's a good-looking kid. He's good on social media. He has a huge following now. It's going to get more crazy. And at his young age, he seems to handle that stuff really well.
But let me ask you this: how much and I'm sure fans are interested to hear this. How much is that playing in Steve Weinberger's mind, in Jim Manning's mind, and Tyler Manning's mind? How much are these guys sitting there going, well, he checks all these boxes, or are they just going like that physique versus that physique, period? That's
something we only know when we see it. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't want to answer any questions that, I have no control over. I don't know what they're thinking, but I know all the answers, all the questions going to get answered on Friday. He can come in and it's off because he has no room for being off.
Well, that's true, because now they've seen him at the very best at the Arnold. So if he doesn't come in at least like that, yeah.
We all know he doesn't have the greatest flowing physique, but for what he has and with the condition, he makes it look great.
That's right.
But he has no room for error.
Yeah, if
he comes in off, there's these guys, Hunter, Ian, these guys will walk over him too. So he has to bring that condition. But I believe he is, because like I said, he's young. You can see when his body's still fresh.
I think I'm full-blown dieting now. I am like, no, I'm serious. I'm getting hungry. I get the cravings. I'm sleeping less. It's like, it's all like starting to click back to what it used to be.
Well, as long as you're not in your truck calling me, telling me you're losing it. driving around wherever you're from.
There is one difference from when you coached me last time. I'm not as hungry. Like the meals we're eating are so small, but it's like I'm not bothered by it at all. A little bit.
It's still early.
Is that why?
Yeah. It's going to kick in. It's going to kick in sooner or later.
Listen, the lightest I've been last year, I think I got down to 261. Today I was 263. So it's coming off fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the first week didn't budge. I was 273 the whole time. And then all of a sudden it just started to like come off.
You probably dumped a shitload of water first.
Nothing happened at first. I think actually what happened at first was I wasn't eating it all. So all the food that we added, like eating on a regular basis, I think it just kept my weight the same.
Oh, okay.
And my body was kind of transforming a little bit.
So before you were all over the place?
Oh man, before I called you, man, some days I'd eat 4 meals, some days I'd eat 5. If I ate 4 meals, I was like, oh, I got to make up the calories. I would have something shitty to eat at night to kind of make up for it.
Okay, yeah, that's
so it's just everything was kind of all over the place. So anyway, things are going good.
Awesome.
So you're at the O, and we talked a little bit yesterday. I still have that saved. I'm gonna piece this together. So you're not going to tell me anything about Ramy. We've already established that.
No, you can ask me questions, of course. I can only say what I know. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so we were talking about Nick.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how we think he belongs in that elite group now. So do you think, and I think it's kind of where I left off yesterday, is do you think he belongs in that group now with Bonac, Curry, Hadi, and Ramy?
I'm going to say the same thing I said yesterday, or I tried to say, is we'll have to see that this weekend.
Yeah. But I mean, judging by what you saw at the Arnold, so.
Yeah, I think he's going to fare very well.
Yeah.
I think he's going to fare very well. It's just like we haven't seen him stand next to some of the real contenders at the Olympia. So it won't be a walk in the park because, like I said, at the Arnold, there were a lot of great guys, but there was nobody that's top 5 material at the Olympia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
do you think
which doesn't mean that some of these guys can't be top 5 material in the future.
Yeah.
I'm talking Ian and Akeem. Yeah. Absolutely, they can, but they're not at this point. So I have to look at it this way. But Nick stood out so much to me, and that I absolutely believe that he has a very good chance. He's definitely in the top. He's going to be in the first call up. I'll be surprised if he's not. The only way he can fuck that up if it comes in off.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be off. He's like a soldier, that kid.
Yeah.
Do you think it's crazy that we're talking about, when was the last time we had a guy come out the first year and we're talking about him in the top 5 at the Olympia?
Phil,
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Phil.
It's crazy because we're talking about him like, oh, we don't know if he's ready to be in that elite group, but he's already in the elite group. It's like, and he's his first year out.
No. Well, you can't say he's already in because he has never competed against him. So
but if he's
you're
in the
not a pro.
But if he's in the first call out, that puts him in the elite group.
Yes, then yes. Yeah. Because it's just like when people say, oh, I'm a pro because I just won my pro card.
Yeah.
No, you're not a pro until you step on the pro stage.
Yeah.
Now you're officially a pro. This is my eyes. So nobody's a pro unless you are compete as a pro.
So what you're
winning
saying,
a pro card, getting second at the Masters and running back to the hotel room and changing your status to IFBB pro, whatever, John Doe. You know what I mean? Don't mean a damn thing to me.
I think this is a little different, but I get your point.
No, that's what I'm saying. He is the elite if he stands with the elite.
Yeah.
And fares well with the elite, which I think he will.
Yes.
I don't have a negative thing to say about Nick.
No, of course.
I told Nick in New York, I told his parents before I even talked to him. I met his parents. They came up to me, not New York. Where was it? The New York Pro was in Atlanta, wherever it was.
Yeah. Tampa. No, yeah, Tampa.
Okay,
yeah.
So his parents came up to me, and I didn't know who they were. They came up to me, he did his chance. I said, yes, we're Nick Walker's parents. Oh, and I told him right there and then, and that was after prejudging, before the finals. I said, listen, this guy is going to be future Mr. Olympia in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I told him that at between prejudging, and I said, this guy has everything he needs. And because I was impressed, because I saw him the year before at the very same show. No, it was the Chicago Pro, the year before, where he got 4th, his first pro show.
Yeah.
And even then backstage, I told him, I said, hey, man, because he looked great, even close up.
Yeah. So
I didn't know he was that short until I stood in front of him. Mm-hmm. But the change that he made from the Chicago Pro, where he got 4th, to the New York Pro was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I was impressed. I'm sitting there watching, and I'm impressed with this kid. There's nothing, I just can't help but say it, you know? And I was like, fuck, this dude really worked hard. That ass whooping he got at the Chicago Pro helped this dude. So, So now he comes to the Arnold and puts one on top of it.
That's what I was going to say. I think he improved even more, like again, from New York to
puts one on top of it. He's the only one that looked good on my screen. I'm sorry. It's just and I'm just impressed, and I think.
Yeah. So he
has everything.
You've been talking to a lot of the guys on your podcast. How do you see? Because I feel like the top 5 is. I mean, I know you don't think this because you're working with Ramy, and a lot of people believe Ramy, as long as he comes back in the same shape, will win. But after that, I feel like
it's open. I think from two.
Well, it's not open. I feel like there's 2 groups of open. It's like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th is going to be a mix depending on how they show up, and then
that's right.
And then 6, 7, 8, 9 is going to be a mix depending on how they show up. But I feel like you have 2 distinct groups.
Yeah, I think, let's say Ramy is going to be a little bit better than he was last year. Okay.
You think he's going to be better?
Yes. So
that's impressive.
So now 2 to 6. Let's go with the top 6.
Yeah.
I think it's wide open.
Yeah.
I really, it's why, because it depends if everybody is 100%, which will not happen.
Yeah.
Then we can, almost position guys. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but this year, like I said, we don't know who's going to come in off. Nick could be as high as 2nd, or he could be 6th.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. He could be as high as 2nd. If this guy's off, this dude will walk right past him, won't even say hi or bye.
Who's the most consistent of the top 6? That's always Hot is in shape. Okay, so if we let's not pretend they're all going to be 100% because we have to go by their past histories. So
I'm going to say Hottie's going to be 100%.
So if you think Hottie's 100%, does 100% Hottie beat Brandon, Nick, and William? Assuming
think,
those are the guys in the top 5 or 6.
I think. Listen, I mean, Brandon was at his best last year.
Yeah, he
was at his best.
Yeah.
And Hardy Friday was off because he just arrived 2 days prior. Saturday he came in on.
Yeah.
Like his usual self, and he got straight second place votes. So I can't forget about that.
Yeah.
So he beat all of those guys at their best last year. So I'm going to have to say, if Hardy is at his best and improved, which I think he did too, because I follow him and I see the stuff he's been doing, he was almost contest ready all year for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But let's just say I think he's going to come on. He's going to be better than he was last year, and I can see him beating Brandon. I can see him beating William. I can see him beating Nick. I can see that absolutely happening.
So if I have to make a prediction for Dennis, Hardy's going to be second.
Yes, okay. I think so.
So then it gets a little bit more crazy because Brandon and Bonac have switched places a few times. Even though Brandon's won the Olympia, Bonac has beat him. And now you throw Nick into the mix as well. So
right. I think that
I think Brandon's going to come in 100%. I think Bonac's going to come in 100% if his travel has been okay, and Nick is going to be 100%. So now you have to decipher between physiques.
I have never seen anybody at 100%. So what's 100%? I have never seen anyone.
Okay, well, I'm saying I think Brandon
William is the most consistent guy out of the ones we just mentioned, because William always is in shape.
I think Nick will be in shape.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not adding Nick as of right now, but I'm talking about Brandon and William. Brandon and William is the consistent guy. Brandon is not as consistent.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So, but Brandon's shape will not allow him to get beat by William. I believe.
I can agree with
His
that.
shape will carry him. He will carry him to beat William. But now, while these guys are fighting, Nick's going to come in there and just upset the whole fucking card.
That's right. That's why I was going with
while you guys here slapping each other back and forth, let me just slide on through here and get my spot. That can absolutely happen.
The interesting thing is this: Brandon's weak point is Nick's strong point. Like their legs from the back, especially because I feel like Brandon's hamstrings, like shot from the back, has never been overly impressive. So Nick, when he turns around, his hamstrings are this wide and stripped out, dug out. And then from the front, he's got good quads too. So I feel like they're going to swap places that way. But I think, Brandon's also got that tiny little shape too. So tiny little waist.
I almost think that the legs from the front, they're pretty similar. They're going to be it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that. But I think it might look better on Brandon because his waist is smaller.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say Nick is beating Brandon from the front, because I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I'm saying from the back. I think the back might be tricky, but Brandon's back is really impressive. So I don't know.
Brandon's got a better back, and then and Nick's got the better lower half when they turn around. So it's just a matter of I'm telling you, and this is what impresses me the most. It's a matter of who's behind. The crowd is behind who.
You think it'll play that much of a part?
I think so, and I think the crowd's going to be behind Nick.
The crowd is going to be excited for Nick. It's fresh blood. It's someone new.
All these newer, younger kids is cheering for Nick because this is a young cat that's hungry, that didn't get anything else. There was no gifted shit. Nobody put it in his damn, ladies. He had to work for everything he's got. He's still young. He's already very far at his young age, and I think that a lot of people can relate to that. And these young kids, they look up to Nick. You don't necessarily have to like his physique. You don't necessarily have to, but the way and I think he's doing it exactly the right way. He's active on social media. He has a cool mentality and a personality. I like him.
Yeah.
All this shit talking or the shit writing that you see it's not really him, because when he talks to you, he's different. He's a cool dude. And I'm just saying it is possible.
You just made a case. You just made a case for him.
I'm saying if they leave the door open, there's no room for any error when it comes to Brandon or William. There's no room for anything for the judges to say, he was better last year.
Yeah.
I don't care how good you are. If you were better last year and Nick comes in with the height that he has, there's a good chance. There's a good chance. But I wouldn't put him at third right now. I still put him, I would have him in fourth.
You have him fourth. So who do you have third? Brandon?
Yes, I have to say Brandon.
All right. And then you have fourth, you have Nick.
Wait, you know what? You know what?
Stop.
No, you know what? Let me say this. I'm not going to put Nick in fourth right now because I'm gonna have to put him in fifth. I'm going to have William in fourth and Nick in fifth, and I have James Hollingshead in sixth.
I was just going to ask you about James.
Yes,
So
and nobody talk about James like he's not even around.
No, I had him on a few days ago. We talked about it, and I've had him. So I have two top sixes right here, and I changed my mind, so they're both different. But I have James in sixth in one, and I have James in fourth in the other.
Well, how many predictions do you have? You're gonna get all scenarios, so you make
every
sure
time
you got one right.
Every time somebody comes on, I make a new prediction. That way, I could get one of them will be right.
You make sure you got one right.
No, man, it's because
who you got me first.
I got Ramy first.
Okay, for what reason?
Because I just don't think I think all of the attributes that everybody else has, Ramy has them times two, right? He's bigger than everybody. If he's in the condition he was in last year, then he'll be just as conditioned as everybody. His proportions are probably better than everybody's. For a guy that size to have a waist that small.
Yes, and his waist is smaller this time.
It's going to be hard to beat. I just feel like it's going to be hard to beat somebody with those proportions if they're in shape. Like, I just don't think you can't match the size of the quads with the size of the waist and then the size of the shoulders. It's too daunting a task for anybody to overcome.
He learned how to breathe in certain times and literally shrinks his waist by an inch and a half.
He learned how to bring in his obliques.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I learned that like 2 years ago, man. It changes your waist completely. So now
he will do it the normal way first. He will do the abs attached.
Yeah.
Then he says, and then he says, yeah.
With those monster quads, fuck, that's going to be crazy. So Ramy, I just think Ramy has.
I think this year he's more symmetrical.
Yeah.
I think he's more symmetrical. His legs is not as overpowering as they usually are.
See, that was never a fault for me. I know a lot of people say like, oh, his legs are too big. Yeah. And I'm like,
oh, they're still going to be the biggest legs by far. But what I'm saying is right now, it looks to me like they almost match his symmetry now.
Can I ask you a question about his legs? Did you guys, because one of the things when Chad was on last year, we talked about him working on Ramy's legs with like massage and just trying to get in more detail and like get a little bit nicer flow to the quad. Like, was he doing that all year? Was he doing a lot of deep tissue?
Yes, he's doing it. Yeah, he's doing it. Yeah,
stripping out the legs.
He's got a guy actually that's in Egypt with him all the time. He brought him here.
Really? Eh? Yeah.
So he's still working on it. Yeah.
So do his legs look different? Like, do they have a different look to them or
deeper
cuts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I just think he's got too much, man. He's like kind of like Ronnie back in the day. Ronnie would step on stage and you were like,
but you know how it is when you look at someone every day, for 5-6 weeks, pose several times a day. I see him in the first thing in the morning when he's empty, and I pose him, and I pose him during the day. I pose him after the gym, and sooner, you get to that point where you're just used to it,
Everything looks the same every day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, you're not big, that's fucking normal.
How involved is Chad? Is Chad like he gets pictures every morning, or how does that work?
Pictures every day, yes. Yeah. Every morning pictures and evening pictures. Yeah, I send it always to him. Yeah, Chad's absolutely involved. Absolutely, that's teamwork right there. I mean, even this morning, I took him to cardio.
Yeah.
At 6:30 in the morning, and took pictures after, and then send him right to Chad, so he knows right away.
Yeah.
Because this is a crucial time right now. Things can go wrong. And then you have to fix it again, and you don't want things to go wrong because you don't want to mess with nobody's mind.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say this. Whatever prediction I make today is the one I will stick to. This is my official official prediction.
Well, don't do any more podcasts today.
Well, no, I'll do more. I just won't make any more predictions. I'll just repeat this one. Okay. So I got Ramy first. I had Hottie second in one and I had Curry second in one because I couldn't make up my mind.
Yeah. Listen, if people saying that, but that don't talk. Williams at his all-time best. Williams at his all-time best. William could possibly beat Brandon.
But I saw Williams guest posing shots. I know it's just guest posing, but it was from a few weeks ago. He looks amazing, but didn't look like a different William. He looked like the same William to me. So
I and that's why I don't have him beat Brandon in my prediction, because I think William he is maxed out. Now here supposedly he's 9 kilos. That's like 20 pounds heavier. Come on, what the fuck? What does that mean?
Yeah.
20 pounds heavier.
He's 20 pounds heavier. Williams.
That's what people saying. Yeah. Well, where would it be?
That would make him look worse if that was true.
Yes, he's maxed out. If he's 20 pounds heavier, it's going to be in the waist. It's going to be in places where you don't really need it. And that's what I hope this. I think it's rumors, anyways.
I don't think Williams.
Where the rumors came from, and 9 kilos. Yeah. Go ahead, bring the 9 kilos.
I don't think the knock on William was ever that he didn't have enough muscle. So yeah,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. So for him, his condition is what's important. But anyway, so
I'm gonna go with Hottie second, and I'm gonna base that on Hani having more time with him.
I think Hottie's good. I think Hottie is the biggest threat to Ramy. I've been saying this since last year. I'm still stand by that.
Yeah, I think Hani Rambod, I know they sound the same. Hani Rambod working with Hottie a little longer here in the US is going to allow him to peak better than last year. And I think he's going to be more polished.
How much better than Saturday last year can he get? Okay, good. Let's say, how much better than Vancouver could he get?
Well, I think Vancouver is his best.
Yeah. That was the best condition. So if he brings that condition with added size,
a little bit more muscle, he can be dangerous. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be dangerous for everybody. There's no room for errors at all.
Yeah. All right, so Hottie second. I'll go Brandon third. You know what? Yeah, I'll go Brandon. I want to put Nick in third. Listen.
Nick can take. Nick can take. This is first year. Him not be put in third. It's not going to hurt him. You take some of them old guys out first year. It's like, hey man, what's wrong? I've been here for how long, and you already throwing me out of the top 3?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Nick can still handle it. He's still new. This is his first year.
All right, so Brandon, I'm gonna go Nick fourth, Bonac fifth. Okay. You have James in sixth.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain to people why?
Yeah, because he's that good. And usually we always say, you got to pay your dues, especially if you're not, not American, and you don't have really a lot of history with competing here in the U.S. It would have been different if he would have been like Nick winning shows here, especially the Arnold 2 weeks ago. Then I would have him probably higher.
Yeah.
But since he's coming from, international shows, where the hype is not as great as it should be, but he is really that good where I believe that, he will expose a lot of people for their less as stellar condition. And I think he has enough muscle to muscle his way up in there through guys like Ian, Hunter, Justin Rodriguez, and whoever else is in there. I think even Akeem. I think this guy has enough muscle to muscle his way through there with his condition.
I had James in sixth in one and fourth in the other.
Yeah. I don't know about fourth. I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't possibly be as good. He's good enough, but is it going to happen? It will be the first one coming out of nowhere from another country since Dorian that's going to place right away.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I mean, top 6 in your first Olympia, especially in one that's stacked as this one is absolutely, that would be fucking ridiculous for him. He would create a name for himself right off the bat. He would be a household name in the bodybuilding world.
So I got, So James, I'll take James 6.
I feel bad for Ian because I want to put Ian in there, but I just can't overlook these guys and say,
Okay, can you explain to people, because it's easy to make predictions, but let's try and parse it out. Why do you think James is better than Ian? Because they're both going to bring crazy conditioning.
I think James is fresh. He's coming off. He's fresh. He's not tired. His body is not even, and Ian did so many shows now. Even his brain is saying, I'm good. I get better with shows. His body might not respond as well as it did. That's the door that I leave open, that he has, there's a good possibility that his body is not communicating with his brain. So I'm not even bringing up the issues because I don't think this has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I think it's just, even though you get better with shows, but sometimes your body says, okay, we pushed it too hard. Now I'm backing off.
You think 4 might be too much? Because this is his fourth show, right?
Is it his fourth show this year?
Yeah, because he did Tampa, Texas, and then the Arnolds, and now this is number 4.
Yeah. So I think, he's at this level, he was pushing hard.
Yeah.
And you know how it is, we have these 3 shows.
He swears he gets better as the year goes on.
I know, and that's his mind saying that. His mind wants, and he's doing everything he has to do. Yeah. I just don't know if his body's going to respond the same. And I'm not saying right now, at this point, he could be better than he was at the Arnold.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the water manipulation, is his body going to respond the same? Is everything's going to be just like always? That is, I think there's a 50-50 chance that this won't happen and that he's a little bit less. Because, look, there's some people saying he was better in Texas than he was at the Arnold.
I said that to him on the podcast. We talked about it, and he said that he thought the Arnold at night was the best he's ever looked. And, the only reason I agree with him is because the lighting in Texas was so good that it's hard to tell, because he looks better in Texas, but then you're like, is it the lighting that makes him look better? Like, I don't know what it was, right? So I got to take him at
so then what says that he was better at the Arnold?
Well, I'm just going by his word, right? He says that he was better at the Arnold.
But if we would go by the athlete's words, shit. Hey, everybody be winning.
Yeah.
So we have to just Fouad, we got to go by what we see.
I know. I am. We compared some photos from the Arnold at night.
I don't care what light is better. I can only go by what I see. And I'm not saying this because I had a shitty monitor, so I don't know. But I talked to people who were there in front of the stage in both shows. And some of them said that he was absolutely better in Texas. So I can't confirm it. I'm just saying that. So yeah, even when you get better with shows, but how many times did he do 5 shows, 4 shows? How many times did that happen in his career?
Yeah, no, look, I've always been of the same mindset that you are. Like, doing 2 or 3 max is going to make you a little better, but I think there's a point where you kind of go over that hill. Yeah. And you don't get better. So, okay. So we take the fresh argument with James, but let's imagine that Ian is better or the same as the Arnold or the same as Texas. Do you still take James over Ian? And in what basis? Is it physique? Is it complete?
I don't know. I can't really, because there's never a comparison next to each other. So this is a hard question for me to answer, because I can only go off what I see when I look at James, and I can go off what I see when I look at Ian. But we need to put them next to each other.
Yeah.
To really see.
So we have Ian 7th. You have Justin Rodriguez. You have Hunter. There's a bunch of guys, man. Reagan looks a lot better than he's looked before.
Yeah. I saw Reagan yesterday. I told him, I said, I think a couple more years, you do the same thing you did from last year to this year. I think one more time, and you're up there battling.
Yeah.
I think 7th place is going to be between Hunter and Ian. Guys, whoever listens now, listen, we're just talking out of our asses here. We're not predicting and it's going to come true. And we're not saying that this is what's going to happen. Please understand.
It's probably going to come true. So, can Hunter beat Ian if he's in shape? If Hunter's, because I don't think I've ever seen Hunter at 100%. Like, he's never been completely peeled to me.
He's pretty peeled right now. I saw some pictures. So I want to say they're neck on neck.
Do you
Man,
notice
come
that?
on, I think Fouad, come on, we fans and experts. We see this shit.
I'm not an expert. You're an expert.
How would you not be an expert?
I'm a fan. I'm not an expert. No,
we consider ourselves experts. We've been doing this for so many years. Come on now.
I consider myself knowledgeable enough.
I've seen more naked men than naked females. Come on now.
I know. That's fucked up.
But it's true though. How many fucking naked dudes have you judged?
Yeah, it's bad. It's almost it's funny because when I'm around normal people, right? Like, so my brother and my brother-in-law is living with me and my wife right now. And he comes down and he looks over my shoulder and I'm looking at my phone and somebody was posing in their underwear or something like that. Yeah. He's like, dude, you're always looking at fucking naked dudes. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it that way, man. I'm like,
yeah. I don't see it that way either, but I watch when I look at my phone now, I look around first, make sure there's nobody standing next to me. I'm on the plane. I have this lady sitting next to me. Ramy is sitting on the other side of the aisle. Yeah. So I have these ladies sitting next to me. So now I'm going through my phone. I'm going through pictures from this year, last year, and there's nothing but fucking dudes.
It's all Ramy in his underwear and all the people you coach.
I was like,
and they're not even on stage. They're probably
I saw her, and I took the phone away. I'm like, I'm going through my own phone like this, make sure she can't see. She might.
Well, it probably looks even worse on your phone because it's probably like your clients in their bedrooms and shit.
No, but this was I don't. Yeah, but I have all the clients on it in a different app, like a folder. Yeah. But Ramy, because I take pictures every day, I don't have time to move it over to the app. So it's still in my fucking camera roll. My camera roll is full of Ramy. Like the last 5 weeks, I got nothing but Ramy's pictures.
She's like, that must be his boyfriend.
I got nothing but Ramy's pictures with the fucking underwear pulled into a thong.
Oh God, that's fucking funny, man. So you didn't get, you're not commentating this show, obviously.
No, I'm not broadcasting either.
Do you want to commentate the Olympia? Is that something you want to do, or have you done it before?
I've done last year. Yeah,
last year you did it, right? Why did they not? Why didn't you do it this year?
I don't even know. I have no answer for you right now, but I'll find out.
No, because I think.
Idea.
Listen,
I have a very good idea.
Well, I'm sure you do, but honestly, and this is not just to blow smoke up your ass, out of all the commentators I've listened to, and I'm pretty sure the fans will agree with me, you give the most, because I think people sometimes think, I don't know, people don't know what commentating is. Like, you teach people, like when they're watching, like I feel like I'm learning while you're commentating, right?
Right.
And I don't know if other people are doing that. So it's like, I don't know why they would take you out of that spot.
I don't know. Listen, I didn't know until I was here.
Yeah. Oh, you thought you thought you were doing it.
Yeah, I was under the impression I was doing it. I was told I was doing it. But somehow somebody was in charge of putting in the plans and the schedule, and I was never added to the email. So I guess I'm not doing it.
So who's commentating?
Sean Ray. I don't know. I don't know who else because I was not on the emails.
No comment.
Sean Ray. Flex Wheeler, I think, is also commentating.
Flex is good. I think Flex is good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
and I don't know who else. I have no idea. So it's for me this year. Hey, listen, I'm still here, and I'm still, I have more time to, make sure everything goes smooth with Ramy, and I don't have to run back and forth to the broadcasting booth, do their class, and come back here and do that category. So it's going to be way less stressful.
How do things work for you? Do you get a pass on stuff because you've been around the industry so long, or do all coaches get to go backstage and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, you're special guest, so you're allowed to go wherever you're allowed to go wherever you want.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
I figured that. I'm trying to explain to people how it works. So you're allowed to go wherever you want.
Yeah.
Other coaches, like let's say like Matt Jansen, for example, is Nick's coach. Would he have a coach's pass, or is he not allowed to go backstage?
There's no coach passes for backstage.
Yeah.
But I did see Matt Jansen backstage last year either.
I bet it's probably like if you're recognized or they know who you are. They
I don't know. I don't know. And they're saying no coaches, but I'm not his coach.
Yeah. Oh well, you're his trainer. You're one of his coaches.
Yeah, but no, I'm not the coach. The coach would be Chad Nichols.
Yeah.
So, but I was there for different reasons. So. So I don't know, but I saw a bunch of people there for the finals, at least for prejudging. I don't remember. I don't know how to do it this year. We'll find out. So, but I'm I've been with the Olympia now. Come on. I competed 11 years and I've been doing, the press conferences and, at least, whatever happens in the future, at least let me get my pass.
I heard they're doing something different with the press conferences here. Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
No, eh?
No, what is it? I swear I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd ask.
What's different? Huh? They're
I
going
don't
to let
know.
somebody else talk to the guys?
I don't know.
Maybe that would be.
Somebody brought up a good point. I just saw today actually on Instagram. Somebody was saying they should have press conferences before and after all the shows, like every other pro sport. And I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. I don't think anybody's ever thought that.
But they used to have this seminar this Sunday.
No,
not all-star seminar.
No, but that's just the all-star seminar. So it's usually like the winner. What I'm saying is like,
no, that's not true. That's not true. There's a whole lineup.
The whole lineup is there.
There's not the whole lineup, but let's say the top 6 guys.
Yeah.
It was always like this.
It's not.
And there's people come in to ask questions.
But it's not mandatory, is it?
Yes.
Oh, it's mandatory. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I'm thinking like UFC, right?
Because you never placed top 6 at the Olympia. So I'm fucking with you, man.
Fuck you, man. You only did it once. So
well, I placed top 6 twice.
Twice? Even if
man.
I'm not gonna take nothing with you. Even if you did it once, that's fucking crazy. Anybody who can say they did the Olympia 11 times is fucking.
The second year, the year I placed top 6 is where they did the challenge round. But they only did the top 5 in the challenge round. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, you didn't get in on it. You would have won a couple side chests there for sure.
That was 2005. 2005, yeah.
Your third place, you looked really good when you placed third place there.
I never placed third.
You were third there, fourth. Who was third? Gustavo? Dexter.
No, Dexter, yeah.
Dexter, yeah. You were fourth.
Gustavo hasn't arrived yet at that time. He arrived like 2 years later at 2005.
Gustavo's highest was fourth or something like that, right?
Third.
That's I got you guys mixed up.
I think he got third 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah, he had
I'm not mistaken. He placed third back to back.
A lot of people don't talk about Gustavo. He had a great career. It's kind of gone. It kind of disappeared, but
yeah, I think he had some health issues, some severe health issues. You know how people then just have health problems and then you don't hear from them no more. You don't know what happened. Yeah. He checked out.
While I got you here, what do you think about Robbie's comments? Robbie Robinson.
Who's?
Robbie Robinson.
Bro, I'm going through this shit with this guy for how long now? Every time I post a video, he's up there something trying to, he should roll his shoulders back when he's doing this. Motherfucker, he's Mr. Olympia. What the fuck you trying to teach this guy?
Oh, he's talking about Ramy.
Yes, talking shit about Ramy every time.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I have not said a word to him yet, but he goes on it again. I will have to reply to him.
Yeah, because he went on a tirade fucking about Nick recently.
He sounds bitter to me. I don't know for whatever reason he's doing it. I don't know. I never met the man. I respect him as a legend, but listen, don't come on my page and let your shit go because somebody else pissed you off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not even blocking him, but and there's a few comments he posted. Really? And then I don't have to say nothing because a lot of my people, they give him enough shit after that. But I don't think he cares. I don't think he knows.
No.
I think it might not even be him. Maybe somebody's using his account and posting this shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't know. Because it doesn't make any sense for him to come here and talk about Nick or talk about Ramy, especially Ramy's Mr. Olympia. What are you talking about?
Well, I think what I'm gathering from all his comments is just he thinks the sport's going in the wrong direction. But
tell him, send the messages to Jim Mannion or to anybody else who's in charge.
I've said that, but I've said the same thing. I said, posting on fucking social media is not going to change shit. You got to talk to them. Yeah. He knows who he needs to talk to.
But the one he needs to talk to, they won't talk to him.
Well, because
this. From what I heard, he's been like this for all his career. That's why he's where he is.
But even if they would talk to him, there's nothing to talk about because they've already solved the problem. I already tell people all the time, there's a division called Classic. That's for people like Robbie. Yeah. You can go watch Classic and you can enjoy yourself that way. But I just want to.
Yeah, but why is he talking about this now? Why didn't he talk about this when Dorian Yates was with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you come 20 years later and all of a sudden you're bitter?
Other people mentioned that too. Like people are talking about Nick and they're talking about Ramy, and I'm like, you missed the whole fucking era with Ronnie and fucking Jay.
That's why I don't know. That's why I don't know if it's really him or maybe someone else. You know, but I'm like, come on, man, it's on my page. I mean, you know, it's going on there and fucking arguing with followers. You know, I want to say, listen, man, come on. I mean, aren't you the guy that fucking told people, you know, you got to give me $1? Yeah. I have 70,000 people, followers. I should get $1 from each, or I'm going to delete my page. Who gives a fuck if you delete your page? Wait a minute. How do you going to tell your followers you have to donate $1? And that's what he did. Yeah. I don't know if it was him or if it's whoever runs his page. Yeah. But first you started GoFundMe, and your goal is 7,000, and then you raise it to 70,000. Because 7,000 came too quick, I think. I don't know.
He got to 7, and then he
raised it. And then he raised it to 77, and then he posted a post saying, "Listen, I have 77,000 followers. You guys should be." I could expect something like at least $1 each, or if not, then I will delete my page, which means then you guys ain't worth a shit.
Which nobody really gives a shit.
That's when I unfollowed him. When I saw that. Yeah. I said, I don't need to follow this guy.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? I don't even know the guy in person, to be honest. I know him as who he is, and that's why I respect him as a bodybuilder. But you come here talking shit, being bitter, I don't respect you at all.
Well, yeah.
If that's him messaging, and if he listens to this, Robbie, send another post, send another comment on my page, if that's really you, and then I will respond.
Yeah. Yeah, because I always, you know, I've always been taught to show respect first, and I always but if you throw your respect out the window by shitting on everybody, then I can't respect you just because you have a name, right?
I still give him the benefit of the doubt that it might not be him, but then you got to come clean and say, hey man, it's not me posting this. But if it's really him, because right now I saw some posts, I think Nick Strength and Power posted it, where he said, whatever you guys say, call me whatever, it doesn't it doesn't bother him. Oh.
Yeah.
All you can do is just delete and block the guy, so you don't have to deal with him.
Why aren't you blocking him? Why do you leave it?
Because, like I said, I still give him the benefit of the doubt.
You still think it might not be him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a long shot.
I don't want to block somebody every time somebody writes some shit. If that would be the case, I would be with 0 followers. Oh.
Maybe that's why I only have 400. I have 400. You have like 1 million. It's probably because all those people I blocked.
you know, because I used to block people just for saying something stupid. Now I can literally read it and and smile. I was like, yeah.
Okay, I'll wait for you. We'll do a wrap up Saturday after prejudge.
Okay.
And if you're busy, then we'll figure it out. But
what am I busy doing? What? I'm gonna wake up like I wake up every day. Ain't nothing going on till Saturday night, and other than the expo. I gotta be at the expo maybe at 11. So we can do an early wrap up. All right. Or we can do maybe we can do a wrap up Friday night.
Oh, I forgot the show's Friday, not Saturday. What the fuck am I thinking? I'm all over the place. The prejudging.
Prejudging is Friday for the 212
then open
classic. No, not classic. 212. The female stuff is Friday.
Yeah.
And then the man prejudging.
Yeah, the men's prejudging is Friday, right?
Friday night. So Friday night at 10 o'clock, everything's over.
Okay, so we can do a wrap up either Friday night if you're not out, or Saturday morning early.
I'm not going to be out. Where am I going to go?
I don't fucking know. I know you like to go out.
I'm old, man. My life is not the same. I'm gonna take my ass right to bed, man. I can get some sleep. Right. Let's just play it by ear, see how we are, and see what time they've done, and then we'll do it either Friday or we'll do it Saturday morning.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Okay.
All right, brother.
All right, Dennis.
All right, man.
Good talking to you, man.
Take care, bro. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.